Robert Burns believed whiskey wasn't just a drink, it was a companion to freedom, poetry, and people. And today, in honor of Robbie Burns Day, I've got a Canadian single malt that feels right at home in that sentence. This is Captain Short's, the new annual triple wood single malt release from Okanagan Spirits. And if you like your whiskey with a bit of a story, a bit of poetry, and maybe a little bit of swagger, you're in the right place. If you are new to Burns Night, here is the short version. Robert Burns, born January 25th, 1759, is Scotland's national poet. He was a farmer, a radical, a romantic, and an unapologetic lover, of course, of whiskey. Truth be told, his poetry goes a little over my head, but if you talk to my mom, she'll tell you he didn't just write about nature and love. He wrote about people, taverns, friendship, politics, and whiskey as a symbol of freedom and shared humanity. Captain Short's here is Okanagan Spirits' annual Robbie Burns Day release, a Canadian single malt that nods to Scottish tradition, while of course staying firmly rooted in the Okanagan. It is named after Captain Thomas Dorling Shorts, I hope I got that right, a legendary lake boat captain and a bit of a tall tale character. We know Okanagan Spirits likes their tall tales, which, no judgment here, feels very appropriate for both Burns Night and whiskey. This is a little fun. Captain Shorts was known as the High Admiral of Okanagan Lake and was known to row passengers and cargo, yes, I said row, the length of the lake. It's huge, in a 22-foot long rowboat named Ruth Shorts, after his mom, as a good man does. Also, this is British Columbia, so that is rain or shine. And while Captain Shorts was almost 100 years after Robbie Burns' time, like him, he was known for his tall tales and keeping his passengers entertained. So this here is a triple wood whiskey, starting in their custom new charred American white oak for 5 years, then into local Foch grape port barrels for 4 years, before returning to virgin oak again to introduce a little bit of smokiness, I'm told. Triple wood aging isn't about showing off, it's about balance. You get structure and spice from oak, sweetness and fruit from those port barrels probably, and then cohesion when it all comes back together, and a whisper of smoke. If you rush the process, it feels disjointed. If you let it breathe, like poetry, maybe it starts to make sense. We're looking at a very carefully proofed down 47.4% here, so let's give it a pour. All right. On the nose, caramel, toasted oak, bright red fruit. It's got a really nice color. All right. But there is like a soft sort of wine sweetness, a little acidic, but it's not overpowering. All right. Cheers. Really gentle, nice palate. Honeyed malt in there. Lots of baked notes. It's buttery, it's creamy. Something kind of like a vanilla custard. The port influence, I don't think is huge, but you definitely get red fruits in there, dark red fruits. It doesn't seem to add weight, but it's definitely there. Yeah, it's not a sherry bomb, but it feels conversational. Prunes, raisins, like I said, dark red fruits. Like a good Burns poem, approachable but not shallow. The tasting notes definitely suggested subtle smoke. Maybe it's there. Or maybe just in my head. Really faint, sort of a sweet smoke on the finish. Yeah, okay. As it lingers, that smoke starts to come out at the very end. So if you're looking for peat smoke, maritime salinity, or like a high proof intensity, this probably isn't your Burns Night pour. But if you enjoy whiskey that leans into balance and character, something a little sweet, red fruits, this is absolutely will earn a place at your table. Burns believed whiskey was about connection, not dominance, about gathering, not posturing, and Captain Shorts, to me, feels aligned with that idea. It's not loud, but confident. It's not flashy, but full of intent. This isn't necessarily, a whiskey you pull out to drink to impress someone. It's a whiskey you pour when a conversation matters and something you want to complement the moment instead of overshadow it. So whether you are celebrating Robbie Burns Day, Canadian whiskey, or just a good story well told, this one earns a seat at my table. Thanks for watching. Share with someone who you think might like Robbie Burns Day. And Sancha.